In 210 BCE, the Qin dynasty was at the peak of its power. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, had conquered all 6 warring states, unified writing, currency and laws, and forged a nation from chaos. But behind the glory lay a fragile throne. And standing guard over that throne was Meng Tian, a man born into a family of military legends. For 3 generations, the Meng clan had served Qin with unbroken loyalty. His grandfather and father had led Qin's armies to decisive victories. Meng Tian himself was not merely a general, he was the empire's northern shield. "Let me paint the scale of his power," he commanded. 300,000 of Qin's most battle-hardened troops stationed along the northern borders to crush the Xiongnu nomads who threatened Qin's heartland. He did not just fight them, he destroyed them. Historical records confirm he pushed the Xiongnu more than 700 li north, seized the fertile Hetao plains, and built a series of fortresses that made any invasion nearly impossible. The ancient text, Guo Qun Lun, stated plainly, the Hu did not dare come south to pasture their horses. That was Meng Tian's legacy. But his greatness did not end on the battlefield. Qin Shi Huang tasked him with 2 of the most ambitious engineering projects in ancient history, the Great Wall and the Qinzhidao, the empire's first imperial highway. Meng Tian did not build the wall from nothing, he connected and reinforced the old walls of Qinzhou and Yan into a single unbroken barrier, stretching over 10,000 li, from Lintao to Liaodong. This was not just stone and earth. It was a psychological weapon, a symbol of Qin's invincibility. The Zhidao, meanwhile, was a 900-kilometer straight road from the capital region to Jiuyuan, wide enough for columns of troops and supply carts to march side by side. It allowed Qin to move reinforcements to the north in days, not months. Meng Tian was a warrior, a builder, and a strategist, irreplaceable to Qin Shi Huang. The emperor trusted him so deeply that he sent his eldest son and heir apparent, Prince Fusu, to serve alongside Meng Tian on the frontier. This was no ordinary posting. It was a clear signal: Fusu would rule, and Meng Tian would be his most powerful supporter. For a man like Zhao, a corrupt eunuch, who had long held a grudge against the Meng clan, this was a death sentence for his own ambitions. The storm broke in the summer of 210 BCE. Qin Shi Huang fell mortally ill during his 5th imperial inspection tour at a place called Shaqiu. Knowing his end was near, the emperor wrote a secret edict order Fusu to return to Xianyang immediately to take charge of his funeral and inherit the throne. The edict was sealed and given to Zhao, who held the office of imperial secretary and controlled the emperor's documents. But Zhao did not send it. Instead, he saw a once-in-a-lifetime chance to seize power. Zhao had personal reasons to hate the Mengs. Years earlier, Meng Tian's brother, Meng Yi, had sentenced Zhao to death for a serious crime. Qin Shi Huang had pardoned him, but the hatred festered. If Fusu became emperor, Meng Tian would become prime minister, and Zhao would be destroyed. So, Zhao made a devil's bargain. He first convinced the emperor's youngest son, Hu Hai, to seize the throne. Hu Hai, weak and easily manipulated, agreed. Then Zhao turned to Li Si, the all-powerful prime minister. He told Li Si that if Fusu took power, Meng Tian would replace him as prime minister, and Li Si would lose everything. Li Si, greedy and fearful, chose betrayal over loyalty. Together, the 3 men forged a new edict. They declared Hu Hai the crown prince, and wrote a second fake edict, accusing Fusu and Meng Tian of treason, ordering them to commit suicide at once. The fake edict arrived at the northern frontier. Fusu, a loyal and filial son, read the words and broke down in tears. He prepared to kill himself immediately. Meng Tian stopped him. He was suspicious. He told Fusu, "You are the emperor's eldest son, the rightful heir. The emperor is on a long tour, and he has placed us in command of 300,000 troops to guard the empire. This is a heavy trust. How could he suddenly send an edict ordering us to die? This must be a fraud. We should ask for confirmation before we take any action." But Fusu replied, "A father orders his son to die. What need is there for confirmation?" He drew his sword and killed himself on the spot. Meng Tian refused to obey. He did not rebel, but he refused to commit suicide. The imperial envoy, following orders, arrested Meng Tian and imprisoned him in Yangzhou, a remote outpost in the north. The envoy then took control of the 300,000 troops, placing them under a new commander, loyal to Hu Hai and Zhao. When news of Fusu's death reached Hu Hai, he hesitated. He knew Meng Tian was innocent, and he considered setting him free. But Zhao would not allow it. He knew Meng Tian's release would mean his own destruction. Zhao flooded Hu Hai's ears with lies, He claimed Meng Yi had opposed Hu Hai's succession for years, that the Meng clan was plotting revenge, that Meng Tian would rally the northern army and march on Xiangyang. Hu Hai, weak and cowardly, believed every word. First, he ordered Meng Yi executed. Then he sent a second envoy to Yangzhou with a final order: Meng Tian must kill himself immediately. The envoy arrived at Meng Tian's cell. The once mighty general was now a prisoner, his armor gone, his command stripped away, his body worn thin by cold and despair. But his dignity remained. The envoy told him, "The court has judged you guilty. You must take your own life." Meng Tian's response is one of the most heartbreaking in Chinese history. He spoke slowly, his voice steady but filled with sorrow. "From my grandfather to my brother and me, the Meng clan has served the Qin emperors for 3 generations. Today, I command 300,000 troops. Even in chains, my influence is enough to start a rebellion. But I will not rebel. I would rather die than betray the trust of the first emperor and the loyalty my family has upheld for decades." He begged the envoy to carry a message to Hu Hai, to stop the killings, to end the corruption, to rule with justice for the people. The envoy refused. He said, "I carry only the imperial order. I cannot report your words." Meng Tian looked up at the ceiling of his cell. The northern wind howled outside, carrying the faint echo of the great wall he had built. He sighed deeply. "What crime have I committed against heaven, that I should die without fault?" He fell silent for a long moment. Then he spoke again, his words echoing through history. "My real crime is this. I built the Great Wall from Lintao to Liaodong, stretching more than 10,000 li. In doing so, I must have cut through the earth's veins. That is why I deserve death." It was not an admission of guilt. It was a tragic, poetic acceptance of fate. A man who had given everything to his empire could find no other explanation for his unjust end. He took the cup of poison, raised it to his lips and drank. Within moments, Meng Tian was dead. Let us pause and grasp the scale of this tragedy. This was a man who had saved Qin from northern invasion, built 2 of antiquity's greatest wonders, and remained loyal even when he had the power to overthrow the government. He had 300,000 loyal soldiers at his back. He could have marched south, destroyed Hu Hai and Zhao, and placed a rightful ruler on the throne. But he chose loyalty over survival. His death was not just a loss for the Meng clan, it was a catastrophe for the Qin dynasty. With Meng Tian dead, the northern army lost its leader, discipline collapsed, and the Xiongnu began to creep back toward the borders. Inside the court, Zhao seized total power. He killed Li Si, terrorized the nobles, and pushed the people into starvation and misery. Within 1 year of Meng Tian's death, peasants, led by Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, rose up in rebellion. The empire that Meng Tian had defended with his life crumbled in flames. Meng Tian's execution reveals a brutal truth about power. Loyalty is often punished, and treachery often triumphs, at least in the short term. He was a victim of a conspiracy forged by fear, greed, and ambition. His life was a testament to duty. His death was a testament to the corruption of absolute power. Historians have debated for centuries why he chose death over rebellion. Some say he was too loyal. Some say he feared plunging the empire back into civil war. Some say he could not bear to betray the memory of Qin Shi Huang. Whatever his reason, his choice made him a symbol of tragic loyalty. A figure remembered, not just as a warrior, but as a man who kept his honor, even when the world had abandoned him. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient China, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more epic history. See you next time.